From the top, hello, I'm Peter Stewart. Welcome to today's episode of Get a Better Broadcast Podcast and Voice Over Voice. Yeah, from the top is a phrase that we're going to be looking at in a little bit more detail today as our Diction-ary of Voice continues. Also, fricatives, Foleys, fluffs and feedback in today's episode. Let's start with the last of those, feedback. Spoke about this in a different section just a few days ago, so I won't go into too much detail. The howl-round looped sound when a live microphone is too close to a speaker or headphones and the sound repeats. Yeah, we looked at that, didn't we, a couple of days ago in this section with the Diction-ary of Voice, looking at the colouring of sound, the phasing of sound. It was also referred to as well. Fluffs, a mistake or a verbal trip. Someone might say, I fluffed that line, can I take it again? When you trip up over a word, you don't pronounce it correctly. You go to say one word and another word comes out. Maybe you got a false start on it or any other number of ways, and I'm sure there's going to be somewhere in the rest of this episode I'm going to have a very slight fluff. If it's a big fluff in a live situation, you would correct yourself, you would perhaps go back and say it again, you would apologise. If it's a small fluff in a live situation, you'll probably just go over it, to be quite honest, or even in a recorded situation. You will have noticed yourself listening to a lot of these podcasts, it's not script perfect. Every word isn't necessarily perfect. A lot of it I am ad-libbing, as I am now. So there's going to be the occasional fluff where I perhaps reach for the right word and I don't quite get there, so it's not terribly fluent. I get there in the end. I'm not tidying up all of those. Can you imagine for 1,000 episodes if I'd scripted every single word of every single episode and gone back and edited them to within an inch of their life? That's going to take so long, isn't it? And also, it's not going to sound very conversational. So in a podcast situation, yeah, the odd fluff is certainly acceptable, particularly if you're in a conversation with somebody else. A Foley is a recording of custom sound effects, usually in a studio. So maybe in a drama kind of situation, there's the thing, isn't there, of coconut shells which are moving together to sound like horses' hooves on cobbles, that kind of thing. There's another one of opening and closing an umbrella quickly, makes it sound as though it's bats are flying through the air. Had a slight fluff there, didn't I? That slight pause, that slight hesitation. So a Foley recording, usually done in a studio. Fricatives. What are fricatives? I've given you a clue. The group of sounds which cause air to seep from between the lips. There's another clue. So we got the F's, we've got the S's, and also we've got the H's as well. H, like that. And also we've got the V's, and very similar to the V's, we've got the V, the harder V's. So V and V, where you've got much more of a hum there between your lips. You've also got a the, and also you've got, related to that, the sh as well. So let's think of a few words with that. We've got the fricatives, we've got the hellos, we've got the sound, we've got the very interesting sounds, those which sound like sheep. And of course, ironically, fricatives. A fricative is the sound heard at the start of the word fricative, which is quite nice. And from the top, when you start a recording from, well, the start of a script, the start of a program. That's all that is. Tomorrow, back with more. And we're moving on to the G's. We're going to be talking about guide tracks, gravelly, granulomas, and glottal. Those words and more, because otherwise, if I'm only saying those 4 or 5 words, it's going to be a very short episode, but lots more words to explain what those words mean in Get a Better Broadcast Podcast and Voice Over Voice tomorrow from London. I'm Peter Stewart.